Hi. Hey, X Gamer. For some reason, it doesn't want to capture the game, but here's the game. This is my main screen. Ooh, berries. How you doing, man? Banana tree. Low frame rate warning. Ooh, interesting. How you feeling today, man? Is life cool? I've seen this game before now. When you played, looked up and went, what? It is free? Yeah, it's free. I was also kind of shocked after the first time I just saw what it looked like. There are obviously like stuff you can buy for real money in it. You can buy extra stuff. I'm doing nice. Nice. Yeah, I joined the same server that Nobles and Farah and the rest of the HRI community is on. I just want to, run around, have my fun. Okay. Magaha's post. I love it here. This is my little house and I like this game a lot. Please have lots of fun. The bitrate is dying. From my end, everything seems fine. Wait. Gotta get my secondary chair that is also... It's the wife's chair, but I use as a footstool. Wait, so like the stream is laggy as fuck, or what? Where? Because from my end it says literally 0% dropped frames and nothing is laggy and everything. Like everything is just good on my end. The quality, gotcha. Oh, then that's probably on your end then, right? I know it happens with Twitch sometimes that the bitrate just dips for no reason. Banana tree. Whoa. Okay, what the fuck was this? Oh, Jesus. Yeah, I haven't gotten new pants yet. So,
Nice work. We'd better gather some ore and logs.
What's the next mission here? Fell trees, gather ore. Usually dies when there's like a certain pattern, it's like static or other things in games. Oh, gotcha. I've been running around felling trees before it was even a mission. Territory upgrade. Alright, G Vault.
We'll
detail.
also need a furnace and a disassembly bench to process the materials we gather.
Alright. Cool. Open building mode. Furniture. No. Facilities. We need a furnace. How do I... Yeah, I just rotate normally.
Use the furnace to refine raw materials into something more practical.
I don't think anything
We'll
to
need it
fix,
for
so,
advanced
yeah.
items.
Oh my gosh, wait, that's the skin I can use instead? Wait, how do I demolish? I want this skin. I mean, come on. Cosmetic has not been unlocked, asshole. Why would you show it to me if it's not unlocked? So mean. Insufficient materials. Oh, because we need copper ingots. Let's see, craft. That jump was really powerful, what the fuck? Yeah, no, it is. I think it's part of like that thing, that there's gravity issues in this season. Structures, foundation. Operations too frequent. I gotta say, like, it's very, very annoying with the whole flying around all the time shit. Facilities. Alright, we need more gravel. Yeah, she doesn't have pants right now. I haven't gotten pants yet. I just started this game. I did the tutorial, and then I went and had lunch with the wife, and I've been having a walk, took a shower, and now I just sat down to play some, and I was like, I could stream this. So yeah, literally at the start, at the game. Nice ass. Come on. I'm gonna cover that butt up. I wanted this character because I thought her hair and eyes were cool. Which I think now is also like, you don't see that much of it anyway. So it doesn't matter. I'm gonna cover it up so much. You don't even know.
Welcome to All Things Scottish. Our slogan is, if it's no Scottish, it's crap!
And that is very true, Stony. Hey, welcome. Man, leaving stream. I mean, up to you in the end. Bam, bam, bam. JK. Right. I'm just messing with them. Yo, no Discord notification. What the heck is it? Yeah, no Discord notification. Just because, like, this is just a short stream. I'm just sitting here playing a game. So, I didn't bother with Discord or anything. Does that mean I'm a bad person? Which means short. I'm just gonna stream for like 2 hours maybe. Then I gotta go pick up the wife from her job. And then we're gonna eat. And then tonight it's gonna be Trice Day. We're gonna play this war of mine. Can I place vehicles in current state? Well, I don't have any vehicles anyway, so. But man, this game is free. Just the graphics make it worth it. Smack. You thought this was Trice Day? Wow. You just saw that I was live and you're like, fuck yeah, gonna watch DrVem live. Have to see it. Can't miss a single thing. And you never read the title. Wow. I mean, my titles are usually pretty funny as well, so you should read them, I feel. You fuck reading it. Oh, come on. Why are y'all like this? I make a nice title for you. Why no read the nice title? My axe is gonna break any fucking minute now, I think. But here we are. Only read it if I'm bored. Wow. Wait, so you've never read my title, meaning you've never been bored in my stream? Nice. Whoa. It's laggy. Wait, let me fix some stuff. We're gonna turn off some things. What the fuck is happening? Finally got meth in schedule 1 after 44 hours of playing. Nice, well done. It's a really game changer. It's still laggy. I'm not entirely happy with this. Oh, come on. Yeah, there's something. I think it's not the game itself. I think it's my settings. Game settings. Let's see. It has to be graphics, right? Resolution, performance. Super resolution. Game details and smooth out gameplay. No, I just want performance. Texture quality can be low, render scale, and anti-aliasing can be lower. Alright, apply it. There we go. That's better. It is the game if I can't run max graphics. I mean, I don't mind too much. I'm used to not running max graphics, so if a game won't run max graphics for me, I appreciate it, or I accept that rather. I don't appreciate it, but right, copper pickaxes. Yeah. I can definitely grab that one. Gravity stable. You feel the gravity return to normal. Wait. Oh, okay. So gravity shifts every now and then. Interesting.
Nice. This is a strong foundation for us to build upon.
These
items might not be usable, but we can break them down into raw materials.
Photo frame.
Well done. Now you can unlock more memetics.
Cool. I just want to build more stuff here. Structures. Ooh.
Metahuman. Traces of deviated oil painting
Because
number
my
88 have
my
been
typing
detected
is
at close
for
range.
real. This is really
If
good.
you
Should be able to
encounter a
run almost all
strange-looking
games on
oil
max
painting,
graphics,
be
but always take
careful.
FPS before graphics. Gotcha. I honestly just want... I think I take graphics before FPS. Like, I want it to look good. Yeah, I guess FPS is important. Let's see here. You get 20 meth. My meth's going into categories. Alright. Primary supplies workbench. Alright. Let's do quick allocate. No. I can only confirm. Alright.
I have a blueprint here. We can use it to make ourselves a weapon. First, let's build an equipment bench and workbench.
I'm gonna do some leather working as well. Definitely want a stove. 8 minutes of cooking is crazy, but worth it, I guess. Oh, with the meth in the game? Yeah. I mean, meth you can charge more for, and you can have more on you. Ooh, facilities. Primary stove. Nope. Just wait until you unlock
now that it's
cocaine.
ready, use the equipment bench to make a weapon. Don't forget, you'll also need to make ammo on the workbench.
I'm gonna have one of these. There we go. Structures, frame, attachment, interior. Track formula. I don't get it. I don't know. I'm selling an OG mix for 175 base price. None of the meth mixes goes away above that, so yeah, they do. Far above it. Craft any weapon with the primary. You craft a gun. A pew pew. Tier 1. I'm gonna equip that as secondary, actually. Craft any ammo at the primary supplies. Copper pistol ammo. Quick activator, throwing dagger. Use those. Antibiotic, no. More arrows? No, it's all fine. Wow, we got a lot of Russians in here. Craft any ammo. But I did. Oh, right.
Wait,
Won't.
I just noticed a teleportation tower was activated at Deadsville. We can use it to teleport straight there. Open your map and try
Can
it
I
out.
have
Activating
pants, though?
teleportation towers will let us get to places much faster and avoid any dangers along the way.
I'd love some pants, though. Level up, baby! Let's grab some basic storage real quick. Furniture. Probably. No? Facilities? Storage. Nice. Large storage crates. Let's grab that. They had another cartels and stuff, a new property. Yeah, I know. I'm not entirely sure about the cartel stuff. I would have rather had shrooms in the update. Greenhouse core. Interesting. Asterism crate. Renaming card. Chrysalis token, metamorphosis token, scenario exit card. Deposit. Deposit, deposit, deposit. Gonna deposit all this. Stardust source. Could actually keep that. Environment detector. Plan to. The community voted, so yeah, I know. I'm just sad about what the community voted for. Right. Copper SMG ammo. Shotgun. Test subject top. Super boobies. Alright, we got a bunch of gear mods. Press M to open the minimap and select location to teleport.
Man, I think they have planned the other stuff to just that more the community voted for what they do first.
I hope so, honestly. I'd love to have shrooms in the in Schedule 1. Interesting. It's laggy in here. A woman is sizing you up from head to toe.
Hold on. Is that a cradle on your back? Are you a mayfly? How interesting.
Since we're both mayflies, what's her name?
I'm Mary. It's a good thing I met you. I'm thinking as fellow mayflies, we should be able to help each other out. I came here to investigate a deviation.
The things she say in the
I think it's
subtitles are
connected to a
not
recently reopened monolith nearby.
always the same. Alright.
After all, 2 heads are better than 1. And I'd never turn down. Either way, I'm glad it got you here.
Tits.
Deadsville is the perfect place to... That merchant over by the old truck looks like she gets around.
Looks like she gets around. Wow. Tasks. Speak with the trader on the side. Alright. Well. Okay. It is too early for me to be. No.
Come take a look. Anything that catches your eye?
I'm just looking.
Wait, I've never seen you before, but
Mayfly,
you're a
thank
mayfly,
goodness.
ain't
I could
you?
really
My
use
name's
some help.
Claire. Claire Lay. Normally I'm a wanderer. I sent a team 3 days ago to collect some good...
It's possible that...
Don't be so... I suspect there's a deviation.
What kind of deviation?
All I know is what I heard
Oh,
from
he
that
wants
wo-
to,
There's no
or he's
question.
listening in.
That guy stands out.
Good luck. I'll mark Rotten Manor on your map. Make sure to stock up on ammo before...
Yay. I really don't enjoy these early type missions where it's just like, oh, we're gonna introduce you to the world. But I understand you gotta have them. What up, enemy? Delete all, yes. Man. Why is it laggy? I don't enjoy that at all. Max on-screen player count? Max on-screen monster count? Sure. For fuck's sake, I didn't even say anything, I was just lurking. Well, that's what happens. Like, everything is a low or disabled as well. So it shouldn't be this bad. It's Louis! No, it's just low.
And know the place for the first time. Through the unknown.
I have the blurb extension though. Certain drip,
Do
nice
you know about a
verse.
deviation?
You've come to the right man. I am Samuel Lowe, a humble scholar specializing in the fascinating phenomena. And as for you, you seek keys with which to unlock the Dark Tower, don't you?
Do you always speak in riddles like this?
I was merely setting the mood. The world
See,
still
he never said
deserves
apologies,
something
madam.
poetic.
That's
Now,
really weird.
you're interested in the deviation inside, but the tower is locked.
Rift anchors. Those things are made by Rosetta, aren't they? Activating them should give us access to the rift space inside the monolith.
Cooking in the motel. In the motel. I don't believe.
I'm looking forward to seeing what you can do, Mayfly. By the way, I wouldn't mind adding another deviation to my...
Yeah. Sorry, but that annoys me when the subtitles and the spoken words aren't the same. I understand it's the subtitles are translated from Chinese, and everything else is actually
Now that we know what to do,
made
let's
with
split up to cover more ground.
or with English voice actors. But they should fix the fucking
I'll find a way to hack into the
subtitles.
monolith.
I'm not gonna fall for it.
Just don't forget to bring plenty of ammo. Oh, and one more thing. I have a motorcycle here you can use.
Yay, motorcycle. Vroom, vroom. Craft copper pickaxe at supplies. Talk.
Those who dreamed.
How did you know I like Byron?
A pleasure to meet you too. I would like to help out. And perhaps, in exchange, you could do a few things. We can call it an ongoing partnership with...
Alright, cool. The Digby boy? The heck is that?
It has the appearance of a
What if
small
one day that
metal
is a real
toy.
knock?
It is not dangerous.
I will just
so
ignore
they
it.
say. I think it is... This little guy seems to be...
Seems to be fascinated by metals and ores. Gotcha. But.
Oh yeah, this looks like it'll be fun to ride.
Summon your active vehicle, then click to place.
When humans perceive deviations, they become influenced by them. Conversely, if you know enough about a deviation, you can find a link to it.
Wait, alright, so now that I'm
You
outside
should
there,
investigate.
it
The
becomes
key to
way
unlocking the
smoother.
monolith could lie in any unusual event.
What the
That missing
fuck?
transport team. I heard that Claire's agent just reported in. Her transport team was spotted northeast of Deadsville. Let's head there and check it out.
Sussy Baka? Sussy Baka?
Yeah, I'm Matthew. We don't have much time, so I'll keep it short. I've tracked the whereabouts of the transport team, but the place is full of deviants. I'll head back to Dead.
Alright. I'm gonna drive it.
You've been listening to Forward Radio, a public broadcast station provided by the Rosetta Corporation for the benefit of everyone.
Oh, I can jump.
Everywhere.
Whee.
At the Rosetta Corporation, we understand that encountering armed Rosetta personnel can be a stressful situation, but it doesn't need to be. Just remember these 3 key steps. Stop, stay put, and comply. First, stop. Whether you're out in the wilderness, in a settlement...
Oh, that's a deviant. No, wait. There we go. Guess it will freeze outside your house. Yeah, you will. Weird mood today. We all have those days. I was in a weird mood yesterday. Alright. Explore Throughville. Look for mystical crates. Find weapon and armor crates. Execute. Complete scenario challenge? What the fuck? Alright. Claim now. Claim all. Journey. Claim. Claim. Claim all that. Cool. Craft all this, or claim all this. Click here to enter mimetic specialization screen. Furnace precision refining, resource consumption wise 30%. Alright, interesting. Portable diving gear, no. No. I'll be a smelter. Probably for me to get out of here, keep the business away. Good time, I'll be maybe drop interested. Alright, X-Gamer. Have fun. See you later. Definitely want the wooden stairs. There we go. Journey complete. Got deer hide in there? Alright. Nice. Alarm clock. Oh, I shot his arm off. Interesting. Didn't know you could do that. That's a weapon crate, right? Nice. And now we just gotta find a mystical crate. Hit pants. I'd love to have better pants. Cosmetics. No, never mind. So the mystical crate has to be in here somewhere. Storage crate. Nice. We're gonna claim all of those. Yeah, we can take some gunpowder. Emergency kits. We're gonna take everything in there. Abstraction isn't 2. Alright, interesting. I'm just gonna loot everything I can, really. Just 'cause like looting is fun. You're dead. I'm just gonna keep my machete. They are going to get near me sooner or later. See? Mystical crate! Nice. Blast suit. Ooh. Something on top of that school bus. Haha! Nice. Alright, so headshots with this will kill them instantly. That feels kind of nice. There we go. Good. Oh, you noticed me. You're really dead, so.
This looks like a recent resting place. Let's look for clues on the transport team.
Alarm clock. Oh, you can just stomp them. That's neat. Cool, cool, cool. So we gotta head somewhere else. Run around here. Jesus, alright. It's a lot of stuff.
Hungry. You feed.
Hey, what up, Digby?
Ore. Want more ore?
Lo wasn't kidding. This thing gives me the creeps.
I don't have any ore, though. I'm terribly sorry.
I didn't expect to find these goodies. These will help a lot. There should be more good finds in other areas, so remember to keep an eye out.
Oh man, come on. Well, now I know the Digby boy is here. Main story, welcome back.
Captain, our guns work fine against deviants.
Falcon
But a
Pants,
deviation,
finally.
Who knows what that thing could do?
You're scared? After everything we've been through. All those dangers on the road. Why start worrying now? And you know, there's a reason things are getting worse. The growing number of deviants. Our business going down. We've got to do something for our family's sakes.
You're right, Captain. I'll have everyone stock up on ammo, then head to the Rotten Manor.
Alright. So they all
What do you
headed to the
think?
Rotten Manor.
I gotta say, I think the team's in danger.
Well, I'm
Better
gonna
get to
run
Rotten
over
Manor
here and
fast
grab
as we
some
can.
ore.
I just hope there's
Gonna
still
feed
time.
that to the Digby. He said 30 ore or something, right? Fuck it, we're just gonna grab all of this, hope for the best. If we get more than we need for him, that's just positive. Jumpluff escaped, no one caught it. Too bad, too bad. Submissive and breedable? Nice. Potato! Corn? Nice. She makes me bust atomic, I call her Sloppenheimer. What the fuck is this song? Oh my gosh. Baby No Money is crazy. Hello. A deviant celestial body has emerged, causing significantly reduced gravity. Oh, okay. Oh, hopefully we catch him.
Maybe small, But
Nice.
his appetite isn't, that's for sure. Let's take it back and see what Lo thinks. Hopefully, this was worth the effort.
Cool. Bronze crafting. Oh, we'll see. Wish machine. Oh, cute. Who's shooting at me and why? What the fuck is that up there? Ouchies. What is that even? Ouchies. Holy shit, did I kill it? Dope! I thought it was a deviant or something. Cool. Alright. Was that some type of boss or something? What the fuck was it? Oh shit, someone's calling me. 2 seconds. Fucking salesperson wanted to get me to spend more money on my internet. Let's see. We're gonna eat some. We're gonna drink some. I remember last time I played this, I had a lot of used an activator once, right? I used the crossbow a whole lot, and I didn't really like the pistol, but I'm not minding it at all, actually. HP recovery. You know what, we're gonna unlock the wishing machine. I don't know what it is, but I kind of want it. Rainwater collection, absolutely. Dishes. Oh, come on. Alright, we're gonna grab that so we can build nicer. Vroom, 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 vroom. Vroom, 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 vroom.
The stardust concentration here is off the charts. We should set up a campsite before rushing into the Rotten Manor. That way we can recover more quickly if anything goes wrong.
Woohoo! There we go. I'm gonna activate the rift anchor. Stellar planula. Alright, we need to find weapon and or armor crates and the mystical crates. Press T to place a campsite to activate a respawn point. Cannot be built near a stronghold. I also don't have wood. Can I murder this ash tree? Nice. I could. Good. Cancel your building one of the server's temporary respawn points. And the resource will be returned to your territory vault. Cool. Craft with bare hands. Max, we're gonna boil some water. Gonna roast some hawthorn. We're gonna roast... No, I don't want to roast potatoes or corn. I want to be able to... like... plant them later. We do want to make some more arrows. Craft gear. What type of gear? What type of items can I craft here, really? Shabby fabric. Nah, I'm cool. Hey, Pixie! Yeah, it's once human, baby! I'm on your server, actually. The same server you and Nobles are on. Let me see. Wait, Stellar Stairway? What is all this? Battle Pass? Do you have a Battle Pass? What the fuck? I just clicked something. This looks really cool. I mean, very, very elegant, very, pixelated. So did we. Alright, I'm done with this. I don't need it. It's just stuff you can get. Purchase the edition. No, I don't want to purchase anything. Reward alerts. Fuck yeah, this character or nothing, man. Have you even slept any at all, Casey? Insufficient Christians. What is this? No, it's too much. I don't care about all that. Oh, it says I'm really, really warm. Why am I this warm? Four hours of sleep. Pixie. You gotta sleep more. Go back to sleep right now. You're not allowed to be here. You gotta go sleep. Go sleepy, sleepy, bye-bye. Continuous healing for bone fractures. Activator. Miracle cures, but answer capable of accelerating symptomatic stardust cells. Sanity gummy? No. Thanks for the lurk. Go sleep. Go sleepy, sleepy, bye bye. Alright, we're gonna loot the fuck out of this place. Whoa! He died. C'est la vie. Collect looming disaster. Oh, so that's 2 out of 6 here. So there has to be more of it. Stardust pollution is getting worse. Or even better. Homies watching, stay by me. Love, baby, say la vie. Whoop, whoop. Say la vie. Whoop, whoop. Unsent letter. Oh. Repair. Please select the materials to repair. I don't have repair materials. Why don't I equip stuff automatically? Good, like it's KFC. Gravity tied shoes. Fake ID. Let's watch and stay by me. Wait, calibration, I think, is stuff to improve your shit, right? Not what I need. Copper. We don't have any crafting stuff. Crafting material. Hello, Miss Frankenstein. How art thou? I just burped. Alright, so we can't calibrate anything. Can we use mods? Scrap equip. Can we use this instead? No, I can't. Weapon damage plus 3%. Crit rate. I don't want to replace that mod though. Alright, interesting. Did you cut your hair? I did not. I just took a shower. But thank you. Whee! I'm flying. I am in the flyer. Let's see if we can catch this guy. Nope, failed to secure it. Try again later. I can just try it again immediately. Right, so I can just try as many times as I want and it'll just... Sooner or later I catch it. Gotcha. I think the mystical crate is in there. Damn, boy, sour suit you. Wow, you clean up real nice when you clean up. You don't look like a total fucking slob. Thank y'all. I think I look pretty cute. How are you today, Miss Frankenstein? The Frankster. Are you alive? Today? Or were you alive yesterday? Mystical crate. A Ruta tree. Does that even move? Alright. Can't just jump out of there, I guess. It's hot and I don't like it. Don't I know it? We're gonna shoot this guy in the head. Oh, ouch. Take a short break. What? No. We're gonna use pills to make us more sane. Much better. Thank you very much.
I think we found Claire's goods. Too bad her team didn't make it, though. Look at this substance. It must have come from that festering gel deviation.
Ooh. I'm gonna use this thing as a shield. This is all want. Alright, thank you for being here. Thank you for being a friend. I don't have a deviant with me? There, we got it. We got it.
It's time to head straight to the source. Let's settle things with the festering gel. But before we do, don't forget your agreement with Mary.
A rift entity who retains part of its human forge. Alright. the fuck? Alright, it wants me to go back to Thruwville.
Metahuman. Traces of deviated vehicle number 673 have been detected at close range. If you encounter a strange-looking heap of scrapped cars, be careful.
Alright. High VRAM? How do I change that then? I don't know. Alright, teleport to there maybe? Yeah, we're gonna teleport home. And we're gonna mess about with base building. You have returned to your territory. Glass? Meant to be. No, we're not going to craft weapons. We're going to craft a copper pickaxe, but for that we need wood and copper ingots. Alright, so we're just going to go out and gather some materials. Whee! Smack. This game is kind of like hectic when you're out and about, but if you're just home at your base, it's
Sean the non-believer! Sean!
Hey bestie, how you doing? What's happening? To be, it's meant to be. Shana. You wish to meet. Good melting away. Feel that. I was out for a long walk. It was super hot, and then I came home, had a shower in cold water, and now I'm sitting here in front of the computer with a fan directly directed towards me. And I gotta go get the wife in about an hour. Fix some wedding stuff and just having a chill day, really. Nice! What wedding stuff are you fixing? What are you fixing with? Let's make. Are you murdering people before your wedding? Is that the wedding stuff you're fixing with? No, we shouldn't joke about stuff like that, right? That's probably against TOS. Yeah. My beard is falling off! No, even though I want to kill the man at the party. Even though I want to kill the man at the party? Wait, what party? The man at the party? Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay. Jesus. I was like, wait, who's the man here? Is it the hubster? Why do you hate the hubster? I was like, no, it can't be that. It has to be someone else. But yeah, you've had some issues with the dude who owns the venue, right? What the fuck is that over there? You feel stuffed. Oh yeah, baby. Stuff me, daddy. Oh, come on. What is this? Be on your guard. What? What is this? What have I gotten myself into? Jesus, he can't hold a conversation to rails, don't listen now, not what you want since it's about our wedding party. Yeah. So I'm gagged when we talk to him. You're not allowed to speak. Because you'll just antagonize him further. Man, that is annoying. I feel a bit worried about all these things being so many and getting this much closer to me. But it also seems like I can just shoot as much as I want. Progress 0 out of 30? Fuck you want? Oh, I gotta be in the mist. Loot crate is available. Mystical crate. No, because I'm at the point where I will raise my voice and explain how stupid he is. Nice. Oh my gosh. Honestly, some dudes are just the most stupid ever, though. And like when you as a man don't realize that you're being an idiot, then you're a huge problem for everyone else. But right now you're just chilling then. Taking it easy. You've seen Hub become... Yeah. Gagged, and Hubs is the one talking to him. You're not the only time you're gagged, isn't it? Or usually it's the husband who's gagged, isn't it? There's so many jokes you can make here, all of them bad. Meet Mary under the monolith of greed. What if I don't wanna? What if I feel like doing other stuff instead?
Wish you weren't so fucking awkward, bud.
Oh my gosh.
Yourself, you fucking liar.
Just the timing of both of you. Wow. Thank you so much, I guess. There we go. Sync ability. Now we have it. Alright, we're gonna claim all. Craft interface. Definitely don't need more of that. If division, it will no longer be able to use facility. Refill. Facility fix. Okay. You know, I get that. Unsynchronized then, fuck off. Let's see here, copper pickaxe. Gonna craft one of those. Great minds. Yup. Locates copper and tin ores by registering the action photos and secured by Rosetta. You can make one of those. Dough fish bait. Raw hard. Universal vehicle repair drills. Sounds aggressive. Claim all. Alright. Craft a fishing rod? What if I don't wanna? My gosh. Yeah, the copper one is way better. Fishing rod craft. Let's see, structures, frame, attachment, interior, wood stairs. What if I want this? Recent fucking frame then. Let's grab some wood frames. We're just gonna make a normal shack here. At least that's what I'm thinking. Nothing fancy like Nobles usually does. Why can't I build it right in here? Alright, fuck it then. There we go. Wood ceiling. Yeah, we're just gonna create a normal fucking ceiling here. Nothing extra cool. We're gonna grab a door frame though. Journey complete. Attachment. Just a normal fucking door. Facilities. No. Product processing. What? Like it wants me to make another one, or what? I'm gonna relocate you. Relocate you. Function facility, wish machine. We don't have enough for that. Defense. Gates, fence, normal fence. Alright. Use facility for the Digby boy. Use facility for mini feaster. Frog the Leaper. Alright. Activated. Build power supply facility. Alright. That's weird. I don't know how to do any of this. I'm going to... Private storage crate. No, it's fine. I'm gonna make another one of these. If we can. No, we need more copper and metal scraps. Gotcha. There, we're gonna disassemble stuff though. Just select all, right? Probably want the shotgun, rifle, SMG we probably want still. Guns though. Get rid of those. Get rid of those things. Get rid of those. Alright. Craft a fishing rod, but we done that. Claim. Craft fish bait. Alright. Good thing we had one of those at least. Catch a fish. How in the fuck would I do that though? No bait. Press R to equip. I can't fish here. Alright. Should be able to fish over here, right? This is like kind of water. Alright, so probably down here then. Survival manual, resources. Alright, so that's just bullshit. Catch a fish, territory management, construction projects. Sleep in a bed and build a bed. Unlock basic furniture. There we go. Unlock. Confirm. Open. Claim. Build a bed. Let me just... Can I just track this thing itself? You have returned to your territory. B for build, furniture has to be lifestyle items, right? Bronze ingot and carbon fiber. Well, I don't have that yet. Rest. Sleeping in bed restores HP and sanity. Gotcha. Reclaiming that. Own a motorcycle. Build a garage. Repair a motorcycle. Turn on the grid snap switch. Hide the pipes and wires in the visibility settings. Enable flight mode. I don't know about that. Build a stove. Use deviation skills in battle. Build a stove I can do though. Primary stove. What do I need? Charcoal? More charcoal. Alright, charcoal. Let's see. Maybe not all that. Got this, and then. No. I definitely need to chop down some more wood. Oh. What up, Digby? What are you doing out here, man? Is he like mining for me? You get some wood there. Good catch. Stony, you got an earthworm called Orthworm. You're such a good Pokemon trainer. Legendary, truly. I'm quite full. Oh, another one, damn. You can sell them, you know, and get money for them. Which is kinda neat. I'm just gonna grab as much wood as I can. Until I get really bored. Which might be very soon, actually. Bronze crafting. Confirm. Bronze pickaxe. Confirm. Planting. No. Thanks for the lurk, bestie. Lurking like a wise owl, observing quietly, judging mildly. Warframe is popping off. Nice. Go war some frames. Someone texting me? No. No, it's just Twitch telling me that people are going live. I got a little bit of wood now. Gonna see if we can make bronze stuff quicker. Because I feel like getting items that helps you collect a bunch of resources will just speed up the game. G control. Deviations out of control. I know. Build a stove. What if I don't want to? Bronze ingot is tin, copper, and charcoal. I gotta find some tin then. Build a stove. Use deviation skills in combat. What if I don't wanna? Roasted potato. Impressionism frame. Wait, I gotta see if I can build these things. Furniture, decoration. Because I can place these, but they still cost materials. It's just that I have unlocked the things. Industrial dressing table. A straight ladder. It's not a gay ladder. It's a straight ladder. I'm gonna make some more of that. I'm gonna make as much copper as we can. Wonder how I increase my territory though. Armor mod parts, weapon mod parts. Asterism crate. Food self-selection. Alright. Renaming card, scenario exit card. Alright, interesting. Mini feaster. Eclipse cortex, gravity crystal, steroid. Territory upgrade. Alright, so that's in expansion, or in the Memetics Cradle as well. Has to be here somewhere, right? Territory expansion, yeah. In Ascendance. Complete tutorial test to unlock corresponding memetic formula set. Gotcha. You need ciphers. Alright, well. Use facility. Goes on mining when activated. The higher the deviant energy, a little more efficient the mining is. Predator is working on the mining platform. Freak out. Freak out. Has to be facilities, right? Alright, I need more copper ingots. Mini feaster. That just sounds so scary. Alright. So I don't know what to do right now. We are going to just put away all this shit. Leftovers, put away that, put away that. Put away the glass. Could put away the acid as well. Rusted parts to shabby fabric. Oh, fluffy sweets, oh my gosh. That's nice. Alright. So we got... Alright, look for mystical crates. Look at the mystical crate and through though. But I mean, I did that. I'm on level 8 now. Okay, well. I feel good. What up, Panda? If that even is Panda. Oh, Jesus. Task completed. Cool. Alright, what other tasks do we got? Basic survival course, Jeremiah Roth, deviation expert. Turn to Deadsville and tell Loa about the Digby boy. And we could. Oh. I'm sorry. How the fuck do I turn off the radio though? There we go. Sup, baby?
I guess you're the real deal after all.
She did not say it looks like I picked the right partner.
Sounds tough, but I think it was worth it. And let's go in together. I brought some.
Yeah, before exploring, we're going to build a campsite nearby. Alright, I need fucking gravel. You get gravel from copper ore as well. Yeah, nice. That's totally what she said. I mean, I know it's not a big thing, but it annoys me so much when the subtitles are one thing and what she says is clearly another thing. Like, I get it, it's the same spirit of the thing. Like, yeah, she's happy that I'm in her team. Got that, but holy fuck. Spend like half a second just improving your goddamn subtitles. Yeah, I don't give a fuck about that. It's just gravel and shit. Well, not gravel and shit, it's gravel and wood. It would annoy you too. I assume that that's what's keeping you from downloading this game as well. Just like, nope, it's too annoying. Oh, that looks nice in there. I'm gonna go here though. So I think we're heading up, yeah. Follow the guidance to explore the monolith of greed. Where are we? Yeah, we're here. Monolith of greed exclusion zone. Alright. Right, I'm level 8 now as well, so. Nice. Wonder if X Gamer is doing Schedule 1, right? So just logging in and out all the time. Now you can't shine your light on me. Biomechanical head. Nice. I'll claim that. Deviated celestial body has emerged. Where? Oh, like there? Yeah. That makes sense. Ouchies. Something is shooting at me though. Is it from over there? Ouchies. Where the fuck is it shooting me from then? I think he's playing Schedule 1. Right? Revive self on cooldown. This is really annoying because I think the thing that's attacking me is like hiding inside that mountain there, like it's clipped through. Or it's that thing. Alright. Caught it. The invincible sun. I don't get it. The fuck is doing this to me? Oh, come on. Is it those things? Low frame rate warning? No, fuck that shit. Won't last long gone without medical supplies. I know that. I have a lot of medical supplies. Shut up. Seems like Farah is playing Once Human as well, even though she was supposed to sleep. Farah is behaving badly. You did? What, like 5 minutes? Oh, come on. Where did all these dudes come from, though? It was, like, very empty here just a second ago. Alright, I'll accept it. 1 hour is good enough. What is that? Could you please help, woman? Oh, come on. Dang. This mission feels like it's way more difficult than I'm level for. Like, I don't have the equipment for it. Kill those fuckers. We still don't have the rift anchor or anything here. Without the dollar sign. Alright, 6. There's my heal button. Nice. Don't I have my fucking gun anymore? Yeah, I do. Nice. There we go. Right. Sweet! Activating the rift anchor. Nice. I'm gonna run out of ammo soon on this gun as well. Edge. What did it tell me about keywords? Alright. There we go, there's a weapon crate at least. wasn't the weapon crate. Gotcha. There you go. Did I check in here even? No, I did not. Oh my gosh. Well, this is annoying. But we're not gonna fight that big guy again. Oh, come on. Immune? What? Oh, because it was dead. We're just gonna shoot them from here. Safe. I appreciate that there's no like trajectory to things in this game. It's just like, oh, you point, you shoot, it immediately hits. It makes it a bit easier. I wonder why X-Gamer's like turning off and turning on Schedule 1 all the time. No, we got a ad incoming. Or ad in progress, actually. Oh Jesus, what the fuck? Okay. Oh yeah, maybe hit it straight in the head here. That's the idea. Instead of hitting it in the ass. There we go. What is this though? Teleportation tower. Oh, cool. Oh, so now I can teleport to here. Nice. I'm gonna grab those helicopters now? Wait. Nope, I can't steal them. Oh, Jesus. What is this? Jesus in heaven. Did I kill it? No. Not yet. But I'm about to. Just gonna... This is what we do now. We're a melee dude. Or lady. Ouchies. Alright, let me see if I can shoot it. Like, oh my gosh. Alright. This lag is fucked. Yeah, we're gonna change. What is that? That is so disgusting. Alright, I clearly gotta go into the thing and kill smaller things first. here.
You made it. I knew I could count on you.
There we go.
You're quite good at handling deviants, aren't you? I gotta say.
We work well together. Oh, you just saying that. Insufficient materials. Gotcha. SMG ammo as much as you possibly can. And we're gonna go in here. We're gonna grab the SMG instead. Oh, right. Wait, oh, is there something? Little gear thing. Seriously? Stars pollution is worsening. Defeat rift entity. Recommend players too? Nah. I can use myself! Gotta go get your wife soon, though.
Shouldn't have tried to take what was yours.
Forgive us. Forgive us. You are truly a great one.
Mercy, please.
This looks really nasty.
Even without their submission. We are still Legion!
Recommended team up first? Well, I didn't do that. All you really gotta do is just hide from it. Reality. Ouchies! Whoa, 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 whoa. Alright, never mind. Shouldn't get too cocky. Yeah, damn, that's radioactive as well. Oh, he dropped it. Nice. Alright, there we go. This is intense, yo. Oh, jeez. Oh, jeez. Nice. I think I got it, right? You're a victory. They said I needed to be 2 people. Eat my balls. I'm just too good. I'm just too good. Loot crate. Nice. Fuck you. Who's your daddy?
Wait. The festering gel looks different. It received memetics from Manibus. No wonder it became so powerful.
Gonna leave the dungeon?
First, contain it. Then let's bring it back to our territory.
MVP? Me? Yeah. I accept that. I'm the MVP. You can teleport back to your territory. Yeah, thanks. Storage? This is like one of those places where I have been as well.
How did this quote-unquote short stream become a longer stream of 2 hours and 15 minutes already? You planning to play the entire time you said you would?
No, this is not a long stream, I wouldn't say. I gotta go like now-ish as well. This isn't a long stream. 2 hours is nothing. It's just a little teeny tiny baby stream. We're gonna teleport back to the base. I'm gonna go back.
Let's try using the territory terminal to purify the Nova festering gel.
Alright, I'm gonna quit the game. And oh, what up, Fort? Fort. I don't have that command here, but I feel the fort in my face.
Fuck you, Riley. I made your mom so wet, Trudeau deployed a 24-hour infantry unit to stack sandbags around my bed.
24-hour infantry unit to stack sandbags around my bed. Well, speaking of how wet I made your mom, Boardhole, I gotta go grab my wife. But I'll be back in an hour, maybe, after me and the wife have had dinner and stuff. Oh, the fart has a fart. Walk-on has a fart at the end. This is true. Is it really a fart, though, or is it just him shitting, and that's the sound of him shitting, like... Who knows? Anyways, I'll see you later. Right now, I will go bye-bye. Bye-bye.